This is Tug with Zula. So everything's going to be going through engagement when it comes to sending her onto the toy. We're going to be working get it, which sends her onto the toy, and then drop, which tells her to release the toy. I'll also be working yes when I want to reinforce her with food instead of the toy. So in this game, you actually have two markers. You have the marker that rewards her with food, which is yes, and then you have the marker that rewards her with the toy, which is get it. So for her to get the toy, she has to look at me. Get it. Ooh, yeah. I like to be exciting during this so the dog actually wants to play with me. Ooh, yeah. So the game brings the handler to life. Ooh, get it, get it, get it. She's still developing her drop, so we're going to do a couple warm-ups with the food lure. So I put food in my hand before I ever ask her for the drop. Drop. Yes. So I tell her drop. Put the food under her nose. She lets go of it. She gets the food. She does not get the toy again until I send her onto it. Get it. Woo! Get it. So another warm up with the food lure before the drop. Drop. Get it. Ah. Ooh. Get it. Drop. So notice how cautious I am. And I have the rope in a place that I know whether she's looking at it or she's looking at me. Get it. So it's significantly lower than my eyes. I don't have it up here at my chest, or it's off to the side. Woo! Get it. Get it. Ooh! Get it. Ooh! Yeah. Ooh! And you can give your dog some affection during this. Ooh! Drop. Yes. So that time I was able to get her to drop before putting the lure under her nose. I did reach for the food before I did it. She saw me and it let her know that that was about to happen, which is totally fine because she's still developing it, and getting her to drop in an adrenalated state is difficult. Get it. Ah. Notice I'm not throwing the tug. Right now, I just want to strengthen her behavior of staying engaged with me with the toy. Sometimes she takes the toy. Ooh, yeah, girl. Sometimes she takes the toy and runs off with it. So right now, I'm not letting go of the toy. I don't want to have to chase her for it. Drop. Drop. Yes. So I waited her out. When you drop, you want to go dead and not pull away from the dog. You actually, if you're having a hard time getting the dog to drop, you want to go into the dog, because that creates them, or that causes them to actually like retreat. But as long as you're trying to pull that toy away from the dog, the game of tug is going on and they're going to keep holding on and pulling. So I drop, I go still. She held on, so at the very last couple seconds, I actually pushed into her, which is when she released it. I yesed the release. She came to me to get the food. Get it! Ooh! Ooh, yeah! Drop! Yes! So that movement is a little bit of a test to see if she can resist it. She has a hard time, but that's just working her impulse control. So notice my movement's very slow. I'm not whipping it around. Get it! Oh! Woo! Get it! Get it! Get it! Drop! Drop. Yes. Another thing I want you to pay attention to is I'm not saying drop over and over and over again. I haven't said it more than twice each time. I give her time to do it. Once she settles down a little bit more, I'll say it a second time if I have to. Ultimately, I want to say drop and she drops it immediately. If she were doing that, I'd send her back onto the toy. But right now, I need the food to calm her down in between the play, because if I keep her too adrenalated, she has a hard time dropping it. So instead of sending her immediately onto the toy after the drop, I'm sending her onto the food, which gives her a little downtime and allows her to perform the exercise a little bit better. Get it! Ooh! Drop. Yes. And my reinforcement with food is about 1/8 of a cup. It's a large quantity. Yes. Oh, my bad. Get it. There we go. So it's a large quantity of food, because dropping the toy in the middle of tug is difficult for the dog. You know, they're having fun. I'm calling them off of a reinforcing act. If she, when I messed up and said yes instead of get it, when I was going to send her onto the toy, if she had actually redirected back to me to get her food and not her go to the toy, I would have rewarded her. I screwed up by giving her the food marker, and she screwed up by going for the toy. So we both screwed up, so no reinforcement was given. I ended up just sending her onto the toy. She's not ready for that mix-up of me setting her up for the toy but sending her onto the food. This is beginner tug. Get it. Ooh! Drop. Ah. Yes. So she's trying to take it. When she does that, that's her trying to take the toy without permission. Get it. Get it. Woo! So right there, I was teasing her a little bit, pulling it away right as she went for it, just to build a little bit more drive for the toy, make it a little bit more fun for her. Ooh! Once my dog has a good tug, I'll start teasing them a little bit like that. When the dog's early stages of working this, I want them to win more than I tease them. So they develop a drive for the actual game of tug. Woo! Get it! Get it! Get it! Get it! Drop! Get it! So she dropped it immediately. I tossed it and gave it right back to her. I sent her onto the toy before I threw it though, because she does not have the self-control to see me throw that toy in the middle of this game and not go after it. So it's important to send the dog, to send her specifically, onto the toy before you throw it if they're not at an advanced level of fetch or tug. Woo! Get it. Get it. Drop. Yes. Get it. Woo! Get it. Ha! Drop. Yes. So the last couple I sent her onto the toy for the drop. Now I just sent her onto the food again. Yes. And that time I just rewarded engagement. Get it. Get it. Ooh! She's getting tired. You always want to end your games before the dog ends it for you. Okay? So before the dog loses the drive for the exercise, the training session, or they just get too tired to do it, before they get bored. Ooh! So while she's still excited to play, I'm going to end it. Even if you just give the dog 5-minute break and then start the game again, you always want to end while they're still wanting to work for you and with you. Drop. Yes. So because this is the end of the game, I'm going to pay her twice. Release.